You could legally do something right now that 95% of Americans think would land you in jail. The craziest part? Police officers get this wrong too. I tested this with my neighbor yesterday, and his reaction was priceless. What I'm about to show you will make you question everything you think you know about the law. 1. You know that sinking feeling when you accidentally knock over a display at Target? Your heart races as jars of pasta sauce roll everywhere. But here's the thing most people don't realize. Stores almost never make customers pay for accidents. They have insurance for exactly this situation. Intent matters way more than being clumsy. Even employees break stuff daily without getting arrested. Civil responsibility isn't criminal law. 2. Whipping out your phone to record police during a traffic stop is completely legal in most states. Cops can't just grab your device because you're filming their public duties. The Supreme Court has repeatedly backed the public's right to document what happens on public streets. Private property changes the rules, though. Just don't physically interfere with their work or you'll face obstruction charges instead. 3. Walking barefoot into Walmart won't get you arrested in any state. 0 laws exist banning bare feet in stores nationwide. Individual businesses can create dress codes, but that's their choice, not government mandate. Barefoot driving is also totally legal everywhere in America. Health codes apply to employees behind food counters, not customers shopping for groceries. Cities rarely waste time enforcing imaginary barefoot bans that don't actually exist. 4. Your parents probably told you driving with the dome light on was illegal. Well, they were wrong. No state has laws banning interior lights while driving at night. Police might suggest turning it off for safety reasons, but they won't ticket you for it. Safe driving is what actually matters. This myth gets passed down through generations of worried parents. You won't get pulled over just for having a light on inside. 5. Sleeping in your car isn't illegal in most states across America. Local, no overnight parking ordinances might apply in certain areas, though. Private property requires the owner's permission before you set up camp. Rest stops actually encourage sleeping to prevent drowsy driving accidents. But if you're intoxicated and have keys accessible, intent to drive drunk laws completely change the legal situation and potential consequences. 6. Pepper spray is legal to carry in almost every state for personal protection. Some states do have size restrictions on containers, though. Only convicted felons or minors typically face purchasing bans. Airports and federal buildings remain completely off limits regardless of your permit status. Those tiny keychain sprays are usually legal everywhere for self-defense purposes. Most people can legally carry pepper spray without any special permits or training required. 7. Starting to eat that bag of chips before reaching the checkout isn't against any law. As long as you actually pay for it, there's no theft occurring. Most stores allow this for cranky children or genuine emergencies anyway. The crime happens when you refuse to pay, not when you start eating. Store policies might discourage it, but policies aren't laws. Many parents use this trick to keep kids calm while shopping. 8. Making rude gestures at someone might feel risky, but it's actually protected speech under the First Amendment. Courts have repeatedly defended your right to flip someone off, even police officers. The Supreme Court treats offensive gestures the same as offensive words. They're both forms of expression. Police cannot arrest you just for giving the finger. However, harassment laws kick in if your gesture becomes part of threatening behavior or escalates into actual confrontation. 9. Keeping a baseball bat in your car isn't illegal anywhere in America. Sports equipment, tools, and even crowbars are perfectly legal to transport. The key factor is intent. If you're genuinely using it for baseball or keeping it for protection, you're fine. Problems only arise when you actually use these items to threaten or harm someone. Police might ask why you have it during a traffic stop, but owning sporting goods isn't suspicious. Your trunk can legally hold bats, golf clubs, and hockey sticks. 10. Wearing masks in public became completely normal during COVID-19, but it was already legal beforehand. Most states only restrict masks when they're used to commit crimes or hide identity during illegal activities. Anti-mask laws typically target bank robberies or protests gone wrong, not everyday mask wearing. Costume parties, medical reasons, and cultural celebrations have always allowed face coverings. Some cities banned masks to prevent crime sprees, but health-related masking gets protection everywhere. 11.
Collecting rainwater from your roof is legal in most states now, despite old myths saying otherwise. Western states once restricted it because of complex water rights laws, but modern conservation efforts actually encourage rain barrels. Cities offer rebates for rainwater collection systems to reduce storm runoff. The key is reasonable personal use. Filling a few barrels for gardening won't get you in trouble. Large-scale commercial collection might need permits, but that homeowners can generally catch rain without legal issues. 12. Neon underglow lights on your car aren't illegal in most states. Those specific colors face restrictions. Red and blue lights up front are banned because they mimic emergency vehicles. Flashing or strobing lights also get prohibited for safety reasons. But steady purple, green, or white underglow? Usually fine. Police might pull you over if the lights are distractingly bright, but you won't face criminal charges. Car shows celebrate creative lighting, and many states specifically allow decorative vehicle lights as long as they don't impersonate cops. 13. Changing your name legally doesn't require a lawyer or special reason. Courts approve name changes as long as you're not trying to commit fraud or escape debts. The process involves filing paperwork and sometimes appearing before a judge, but it's straightforward. You can choose almost any name you want. Celebrities do it constantly. Stage names, nicknames, and creative spellings are all acceptable. The only restrictions involve preventing deception or avoiding names that could cause public confusion, like impersonating famous people. 14. Openly carrying swords and large knives is legal in many places, though laws vary significantly by state. The key difference is open versus concealed carry. Visible weapons face fewer restrictions than hidden ones. Some states allow you to walk around with a sword on your hip, while others limit blade length or require permits. Medieval fairs and Renaissance festivals regularly get exceptions for costume weapons. Police care more about intent and context than the weapon itself. Concealed machetes cause more legal problems than visible samurai swords. 15. Most cities don't actually ban feeding pigeons or squirrels in public spaces. Sure, some parks post signs asking you not to, but that's usually about preventing overpopulation or aggressive behavior from hungry animals. Your local downtown square probably has zero laws against tossing breadcrumbs to birds. The bigger issue, large-scale feeding operations that attract hundreds of pigeons can create health hazards. But sharing your sandwich with a curious squirrel in your backyard? Completely legal in basically every state across America. 16. Collecting seashells from public beaches is perfectly legal in most places. National parks might have different rules about taking natural souvenirs, but your typical state beach welcomes shell hunters. The key distinction here involves live animals versus empty shells. Grabbing a conch shell with something still living inside crosses into wildlife protection territory. Then there's coral, which many coastal areas protect regardless of whether it's alive or dead. But those pretty shells scattered across the sand after a storm? Fair game for your vacation collection. 17. Window tinting laws vary dramatically from state to state, but nowhere actually bans tinted windows entirely. Some states allow darker tints than others, and medical conditions can sometimes get you special permission for extra dark films. Front windshields typically have stricter rules than side or rear windows. Police officers carry little devices to measure tint darkness during traffic stops. The funny part? Many luxury cars come from the factory with tinting that's perfectly legal in some states, but would get you ticketed in others. 18. Open container laws create a patchwork of rules across America, but drinking alcohol in public isn't universally illegal. Some beach towns designate specific areas where adults can enjoy beverages outdoors. Music festivals and street fairs often get special permits allowing public drinking. Private property changes everything. You can absolutely drink a beer on your own front porch or backyard. The crime isn't the drinking itself, it's violating whatever local ordinances your city has established. New Orleans famously allows open containers in certain areas, while other cities take a much stricter approach. 19. No federal law requires anyone to speak English in the United States. Despite what some people believe, America has never officially designated English as the national language at the federal level. You can conduct business, put up signs, or have conversations in any language you want. Bilingual education programs operate legally in schools nationwide. Some workplaces might have English-only policies, but those are employment rules, not criminal laws. The First Amendment actually protects your right to speak whatever language feels most comfortable, whether that's Spanish, Mandarin, or anything else. 20. Swearing in public almost never violates any actual laws. Courts have repeatedly protected offensive language as free speech under the First Amendment. The rare exceptions involve direct threats or what lawyers call fighting words, language specifically intended to provoke violence. Disturbing the peace charges typically require much more than just colorful vocabulary. Schools and businesses can certainly set their own rules about language, but breaking workplace policies doesn't make you a criminal. Even the most creative curse words remain legal expressions, no matter how much they might offend nearby listeners. 21. Street photography from public spaces enjoys strong legal protection throughout the United States. Anyone visible in public can be photographed without their permission, including their faces. Private property owners can ask photographers to leave, but they can't have you arrested for taking pictures from the sidewalk. Commercial use of someone's image does create different legal considerations requiring model releases. Security guards at malls or office buildings might request you stop filming, but that's about property rules, not photography laws. The key distinction remains whether you're standing on public or private ground when clicking the shutter. 22. Cash is legal tender for all debts, public and private. That's literally printed on every bill. Yet people act like carrying more than $20 makes you a drug dealer. Banks do report large withdrawals over $10,000, but that's just paperwork for the government. It's not because you're doing anything wrong. Police might ask where big money came from during a traffic stop. Civil asset forfeiture laws let cops take cash if they suspect it's from crime, even without proof. But spending your own hard-earned money? Always legal. 23. Your political t-shirt at the polling place creates more drama than it should. Most states allow campaign gear as long as you're not campaigning near the actual voting booth. The no electioneering zone usually extends 50 to 100 feet from the entrance. Courts have ruled that your clothing counts as free speech, not active campaigning. Well, unless you're wearing a megaphone and handing out flyers. Some states like Texas are stricter about political messages, while others barely care. Judges sometimes have to settle disputes over whether a union shirt counts as political endorsement. 24. Body armor isn't just for cops and soldiers anymore. Regular people can buy bulletproof vests online or at military surplus stores without any special license. The only real restriction? Convicted felons can't own body armor in most states. Schools are starting to buy vests for administrators and security staff. Police actually encourage security workers to wear protection. Wearing a vest under your shirt in public doesn't make you suspicious by itself. The weird part is how many people think it's illegal when it's perfectly normal safety equipment. 25. That double yellow line doesn't mean never cross ever. It means don't pass other cars going the same direction. But turning left across those lines, totally legal at intersections and driveways. Emergency vehicles have to follow the same markings unless they're responding to calls with lights and sirens. Areas with actual no U-turn restrictions post clear signs to tell drivers. Most people think any crossing is illegal, but the law is way more specific than that. Traffic cops know the difference, even if driving instructors sometimes get it wrong. 26. Flag burning makes people furious, but it's completely legal as political protest. The Supreme Court decided this in 1989 with Texas versus Johnson, protecting flag desecration as free speech. Doesn't matter how many people hate it or how disrespectful it seems. Local cities and states can't make their own laws banning flag burning because federal court rulings override them. Military veterans often disagree with the law, but still defend the right to protest. Respecting the flag is a personal choice, not a legal requirement. The First Amendment protects offensive speech, especially political messages. 27. Your office March Madness bracket won't land you in prison. Private social betting between friends and coworkers is legal in most states. The problems start when someone runs a big money operation or takes a cut of the winnings. Small-scale pools with entry fees under $50 are rarely prosecuted anywhere. Winners are technically supposed to report gambling winnings on their taxes, but nobody really does for small amounts. Then, there's the fact that commercial gambling has way stricter laws than friendly wagers. State lottery officials aren't coming for your Super Bowl squares. 28. Fashion police aren't real police, thank goodness. No law anywhere dictates how you have to dress, whether that's inside-out shirts or mismatched socks. Dress codes exist in schools and workplaces, but breaking them gets you sent home, not arrested. Some schools ban clothing they consider disruptive, but that's about classroom management, not criminal law. Halloween costume laws don't exist either, no matter how weird your outfit gets. Your style choices are protected as personal expression. Makes sense, right? The government has bigger problems than regulating your wardrobe decisions. 29. Rock collecting on public land is perfectly legal in most places. You can pick up interesting stones, minerals, and small fossils without breaking any laws. National parks are different, though. They restrict collection to preserve natural resources for everyone. Private land always needs the owner's permission first. Science clubs and geology groups actively promote legal collecting as educational. The key is knowing where you're allowed to hunt for specimens before you start filling your backpack. 30. Kids setting up lemonade stands rarely face legal trouble, despite viral stories suggesting otherwise. Most neighborhoods completely ignore these small ventures. Big cities might technically require health permits, but enforcement is practically non-existent for children's stands. The violation would be civil, not criminal anyway. Many cities actually celebrate National Lemonade Day each year. These feel-good community events prove that common sense usually wins over bureaucratic red tape when it comes to entrepreneurial kids. 31. No federal or state law prevents you from painting your house any color you want. Bright purple, neon green, or rainbow stripes are all legally acceptable choices. Homeowners associations can create their own color restrictions through contracts, but that's a civil matter between you and the HOA. Historic districts sometimes have guidelines to preserve neighborhood character. Regular permits aren't needed for most exterior paint jobs. Your neighbors might complain about your artistic choices, but the police won't show up with handcuffs. 32. Jaywalking gets treated as a minor infraction in most places, not a serious crime. Police rarely arrest anyone for crossing against the light or outside crosswalks. When tickets do get issued, fines are usually under $20. Busy cities like New York often ignore jaywalkers completely because enforcement would be impossible. Traffic safety matters more than following every technical rule perfectly. Most cops focus on dangerous jaywalking that actually creates hazards, not every casual street crossing that happens daily. 33. Very few American cities actually criminalize spitting on sidewalks, despite what people assume. Some places do ban it for public health reasons, especially after disease outbreaks. When violations do occur, they result in small tickets rather than jail time. Baseball culture made spitting socially acceptable in many areas. The focus is usually on general cleanliness and courtesy rather than strict law enforcement. Most complaints about spitting come from disgusted pedestrians, not police officers looking to write citations for minor offenses. 34. Browsing books in stores without buying them is completely legal everywhere. Bookstores actually encourage customers to read before purchasing. It helps sales. No law requires you to buy something after flipping through pages. Store owners can ask excessive loiters to leave, but that's about property rights, not theft. This practice is called pre-shopping in retail circles. Libraries exist specifically for free reading anyway. The whole point of bookstores is letting people discover what they want to purchase through browsing. 35. Making copies of your own keys is legal in all circumstances. Those do not duplicate stamps on certain keys are just requests from manufacturers, not legally binding restrictions. Locksmiths might ask for identification to verify ownership, but they can't refuse legitimate requests. Landlord-tenant agreements sometimes include key duplication rules, but breaking those is a contract issue, not criminal. Lost key situations happen constantly and aren't police matters. Hardware stores duplicate millions of keys daily without any legal complications whatsoever. 36. Metal detecting in public parks is perfectly legal in most cities across America. The worst thing that happens? You might need a permit in some places, but here's what gets people confused. They think all government land follows the same rules. Wrong. National parks will absolutely shut you down and confiscate your detector. City parks, though, they actually encourage it because you're helping find lost wedding rings and car keys. Just don't dig massive craters. 37. Getting tattoos and piercings as an adult is completely legal in every single state. The only catch is finding a licensed shop, which isn't hard since there are over 21,000 tattoo parlors in America. Minors need parental consent, but that's about safety, not legality. Your boss might hate your face tattoo, but that's a workplace policy issue, not a criminal one. Even religious symbols get extra protection under freedom of expression laws. 38. Hosting garage sales doesn't require calling a lawyer or the police for permission. Most cities let you sell your junk without any permits at all. The confusion comes from people thinking they need business licenses for everything. But wait, if you're having sales every weekend, some places might ask for a permit because you're basically running a retail operation. Otherwise, selling your old blender and those books you'll never read again is totally fine. 39. Marrying your first cousin is legal in about 20 states, including California and New York. Weird? Maybe to some people. Illegal? Not necessarily. The states that don't allow it won't throw you in jail, they just won't issue the marriage license. Immigration law gets even weirder because cousin marriages from other countries are often recognized federally. But let's be honest, your family reunion is going to be awkward either way, regardless of what the law says. 40. Working 2 jobs without telling your boss isn't against any law in America. Millions of people do it every single day. Your employment contract might say something about conflicts of interest, but breaking a contract isn't a crime. It's a civil matter. The only legal issue is making sure you report all your income to the IRS. Your boss can fire you for moonlighting, but they can't have you arrested for earning extra money elsewhere. 41. Homeschooling. Your children is legal in all 50 states, period. Some states require testing or progress reports, but none can ban it outright. The Supreme Court settled this decades ago. You don't need a teaching degree, fancy curriculum, or government approval to educate your own kids. However, truancy laws still apply if you're not actually teaching them anything. Many parents combine online programs with hands-on learning, and it's all perfectly legitimate under the law. 42. Installing security cameras on your own property is legal everywhere in the United States. You can film your driveway, front door, backyard, and pretty much any area you own. The only places you can't put cameras are bathrooms and bedrooms where guests expect privacy. Doorbell cameras have become so common that delivery drivers expect to be recorded. Your neighbors might complain, but they can't force you to remove cameras from your own house or yard. 43. Most cities allow home gardening wherever you want on your property. Your front yard is yours to use. While some homeowners associations might throw a fit about tomatoes next to your mailbox, there's no actual law stopping you. Growing vegetables saves money and provides fresh food. States actually encourage home gardens for food security reasons. The only real legal issues come from weeds or rodent problems that affect neighbors. But your carrot patch? Totally legal. 44. You can legally ride a horse down most local roads in America. Cities might require safety gear or permits, but it's not banned outright. Traffic laws apply to riders just like cars. Some states even put up horse crossing signs on rural roads. Cowboy parades happen annually in towns across the country without anyone getting arrested. The main issue is safety, not legality. Just don't expect to gallop through downtown Manhattan during rush hour. 45. Taking a nap in the park isn't a crime in most places. Daytime sleeping is allowed almost everywhere public. The confusion comes from overnight camping rules, which often need permits. Homeless ordinances depend on local laws, not federal ones. Cities focus on public safety concerns rather than criminalizing sleep itself. Many people doze off on park benches after lunch without any legal trouble. The key difference is between a quick rest and setting up camp. 46. Making soap and candles at home is perfectly legal across America. Thousands of people start craft businesses from their kitchens. The FDA only steps in when you're selling commercially, not making items for personal use. DIY crafts represent a huge American hobby industry. Selling homemade products might require proper labeling rules, but creating them never does. Many successful companies began with someone melting wax or mixing oils in their garage. Your creativity isn't regulated by law. 47. No federal law bans wearing headphones while walking outside. Common sense says stay aware of your surroundings, but it's not illegal. Some states restrict headphones for bicyclists due to traffic safety, but walkers face no such rules. Police might ask questions if accidents happen, but wearing earbuds isn't a crime. Millions of Americans walk with music daily without legal issues. The difference between smart and illegal gets confused here. Your playlist is your choice. 48. Anyone can change their online display names freely on social media platforms. Most websites let users update profiles without restrictions. False impersonation is illegal, but using nicknames or pen names isn't. Some services require real names for certain features, but that's company policy, not criminal law. Writers, artists, and performers use stage names constantly. The key is not pretending to be someone specific to commit fraud. Your digital identity is largely your own creation. 49. Shipping plant seeds within the United States is completely legal for most varieties. Only certain invasive species face federal restrictions. Seed exchange clubs are growing rapidly across the country. International mailing requires more agricultural checks, but domestic shipping stays simple. Farm seeds and garden seeds get treated exactly the same under the law. Many gardeners mail seeds to friends and family regularly. The Postal Service handles millions of seed packages annually without legal problems whatsoever. 50. Swimming in hotel pools without paying for a room isn't automatically illegal. Trespassing laws kick in only if you sneak past security or ignore no entry signs. Many hotels actually let locals use their pools for a daily fee. The real issue? How you got there. Walk through the lobby like you belong, and staff might just ask you to leave politely, break a fence, or tailgate through a keycard door. That's when police get involved. Hotel management handles most pool crashes as customer service issues, not criminal cases. 51. Street musicians and public singers perform legally across America every day. Most cities welcome buskers with open arms. The catch? Amplified music often requires permits, and noise complaints focus on volume levels, not your vocal talent. You can sing Happy Birthday in the park without arrest. Even terrible karaoke voices get First Amendment protection. Then, there are those noise ordinances. They're about decibel meters, not music critics. Subway musicians in New York make decent livings. Your shower voice deserves its public debut too, legally speaking. 52. Movie theaters set their own snack policies, but no state law stops you from bringing outside food. Management can ask you to toss your candy or leave the building. They can't arrest you for smuggling junior mints, though. Most theaters ignore small snacks anyway. Parents with kids get extra leeway for juice boxes and crackers. The real crime? Those concession stand prices. $20 popcorn should be illegal, but your homemade trail mix isn't. Civil enforcement means getting kicked out, not getting booked. Candy contraband stays a corporate concern, not a criminal code violation. 53. Roadkill collection laws vary wildly by state, but many places treat fresh highway meat as free groceries. Game wardens might require you to report what you take. Some hunters prefer roadkill venison over store-bought beef. Certain species need special handling permits. Deer, elk, and wild turkeys top the roadkill menu. The fur and hide markets love roadkill too. Timing matters most. Fresh kills beat day-old specimens. Safety comes first when stopping on busy highways. Well, that and explaining to your neighbors why you're loading a dead deer into your Honda Civic. 54. Fake accents aren't illegal anywhere in America. The First Amendment protects your voice, whether it's genuine Southern drawl or terrible British attempts. Comedians build careers on accent work. Lying becomes criminal only when used for fraud or fake identification. Pretending to be from Ireland at parties? Totally legal. Using that accent to scam senior citizens? That's a different story. Many Americans naturally pick up accents when traveling. Voice coaches teach accent modification professionally. Your vocal cords belong to you. Authenticity police don't exist outside of social media comment sections where grammar matters. 55. Urban chicken keeping explodes in popularity as cities embrace backyard hens. Most places allow a few hens, but ban roosters for noise reasons. Coop placement rules focus on property setbacks and neighbor complaints. Fresh eggs beat store-bought quality every time. Chickens make surprisingly good pets with distinct personalities. Some cities offer chicken keeping classes and coop building workshops. Noise ordinances target crowing roosters, not clucking hens. Neighbors worried about smells usually change their minds after receiving free eggs. Zoning laws treat chickens like other small pets. Your backyard flock dreams probably have legal wings to fly. 56. Restaurant birthday songs face zero legal restrictions now that Happy Birthday entered public domain. Past copyright lawsuits targeted commercial performances, not casual singing. Servers can belt out any tune they choose for celebrations. The Song Police disbanded after 2016 court rulings. Many restaurants create custom birthday chants to stand out from competitors. Staff singing abilities vary wildly, but enthusiasm counts more than pitch. Birthday traditions bring families together at dinner tables nationwide. Clapping along never violated any laws either. Your special day deserves whatever musical treatment the restaurant staff can muster, legal protections, and all. 57. Crossing state lines with your prescription medications won't land you in handcuffs. The key is keeping those pill bottles properly labeled with your name and prescription details. TSA agents at airports might glance at your medications, but they're not looking to arrest anyone carrying legitimate prescriptions. Large quantities might raise questions, sure, but questions aren't charges. Medical marijuana gets tricky, though. What's legal in Colorado might not fly in Texas. 58. Netflix password sharing isn't going to get the FBI knocking on your door. Yeah, it breaks Netflix's terms of service, but that's a contract issue, not a criminal one. Companies rarely waste time suing individual users for sharing accounts. They'd rather you just upgrade to a family plan. The worst case scenario, Netflix might ask you to verify your account or limit simultaneous streams. Your college roommate using your login won't result in jail time. 59. Bringing your own sandwich into a doctor's waiting room isn't against any law. Hospitals and medical offices set their own food policies, but eating while you wait isn't criminal behavior. Some places might ask you to finish up for cleanliness reasons, especially if other patients have severe allergies. But that's about maintaining a sterile environment, not enforcing any statute. The receptionist might give you a look, but security won't escort you out. 60. Using your preferred pronouns or chosen name is protected speech in America. No federal law prohibits someone from asking others to use specific pronouns when addressing them. Some schools or workplaces might have policies requiring respectful use of chosen names, but refusing to comply breaks workplace rules, not criminal law. Social media platforms actively encourage users to display whatever name feels authentic to them. Self-identification is fundamentally about personal expression, which the First Amendment protects. 61. Celebrating holidays from other cultures is completely legal in the United States. Cultural appropriation debates happen on social media, not in courtrooms. Parades, festivals, and cultural events typically welcome everyone who wants to participate respectfully. You can buy Day of the Dead decorations, attend Diwali celebrations, or wear green on St. Patrick's Day, regardless of your background. Holiday participation is about community involvement, not legal restrictions. Cultural sensitivity is encouraged, but it's never been criminally mandated. 62. Going to movies alone as an adult is perfectly legal and increasingly common. There's no age restriction preventing solo movie attendance, and theater staff won't question a single ticket purchase. Movie ratings block children from certain films, but they never restrict adults from attending alone. Single moviegoers actually prefer it sometimes. No arguing over snack choices or seat preferences. The stigma around solo entertainment is purely social, not legal. Box office workers see solo customers daily. 63. Owning ferrets and other exotic pets is legal in most states, though some cities have specific restrictions. California and New York City ban ferrets, but that's unusual. Most pets, from hamsters to iguanas, are perfectly legal with basic care requirements. Some exotic animals like certain snakes or large birds might need permits, but pet stores follow state guidelines for legal sales. The bigger issue is usually finding veterinarians experienced with unusual pets, not law enforcement problems. 64. Teachers across America get told Merry Christmas by millions of students every December. And guess what? Nobody gets arrested. The Supreme Court has repeatedly ruled that holiday greetings are protected speech, not religious establishment. Schools can't force prayers or nativity scenes, but saying Merry Christmas falls under basic free expression. Even the most strict separation of church and state policies distinguish between forced worship and casual holiday acknowledgments. Your friendly greeting isn't creating a theocracy. 65. Utah passed a law specifically protecting parents who let their 8-year-olds walk to school alone. Why? Because helicopter parenting got so intense that normal childhood independence was being treated like neglect. No federal law sets a minimum age for kids walking solo. Most free-range parenting complaints come from busybody neighbors, not actual safety concerns. Parents in rural areas have always let kids roam freely. The same independence that built America's frontier spirit remains perfectly legal today. 66. Cities spend thousands on sidewalk chalk art festivals. Then, some parent worries their kid will get arrested for hopscotch squares. Temporary chalk art isn't vandalism because rain washes it away naturally. Police distinguish between permanent damage and kids' creativity. Even elaborate chalk murals at art festivals use public sidewalks legally. The worst outcome? A grumpy property owner might hose it off early. Your child's rainbow masterpiece won't result in a criminal record or community service. 67. Millions of Americans list spare rooms on Airbnb without breaking federal law. Short-term rental rules vary by city, not criminal code. Some places require registration or collect tourist taxes, but that's paperwork, not prison time. Even strict cities like San Francisco regulate Airbnb through permits and fines, not arrests. Your HOA might complain about strangers in the building, but police won't raid your guest bedroom. Most tourist-friendly towns actively encourage home sharing for economic benefits. 68. Federal law requires all businesses to allow service animals, period. Pet dogs are different, but most stores welcome them anyway for customer goodwill. Grocery stores limit pets for health department rules, not criminal ones. Getting asked to leave with your golden retriever isn't the same as getting charged with trespassing. Dog-friendly stores advertise pet policies proudly. The worst case, you walk back to your car and find a pet-friendly business down the street instead. 69. Mail carriers deliver to wrong addresses constantly, and recipients open packages by mistake daily. The Postal Service expects honest errors and built forgiveness into the system. Criminal mail theft requires intent to steal, not accidental opening of your neighbor's electric bill. You're supposed to mark it "Return to Sender" or "Walk it next door" like a decent human. Mail fraud investigations target organized theft rings, not suburbanites who grab the wrong Amazon box. 70. The National Labor Relations Act actually protects workers' right to discuss wages, even in non-union workplaces. Companies that punish salary transparency break federal labor law, not the employees sharing information. Pay secrecy policies are corporate suggestions, not legal requirements. Workers discovering wage gaps through conversation have won major discrimination lawsuits. Your boss might prefer you stay quiet about that raise, but telling your coworker about your paycheck is protected speech that helps expose unfair treatment. 71. Your friend challenges you to a gaming session with a $20 bet riding on the outcome. Is this illegal gambling? Well, friendly wagering between buddies usually gets a legal pass in most states. The law typically targets commercial betting operations, not casual wagers among friends. Esports tournaments with prize money face tax obligations, but that's different from criminal charges. However, if your friendly bets start resembling a regular casino operation, you might need state permits. 72. Installing a backyard fire pit doesn't require a law degree or special permits in most areas. Cities might have specific codes about placement and safety requirements, but the basic concept stays legal. Burn bans kick in during drought seasons or high fire danger periods, affecting everyone equally. Propane-powered fire pits face fewer restrictions than wood-burning ones. Neighbors complaining about smoke creates civil disputes, not criminal cases. Just keep those flames away from public sidewalks and property lines. 73. Solar panels on your roof represent one of America's most protected home improvements. All 50 states recognize solar installation rights, and many have specific laws preventing restrictions. Utility companies must allow you to connect your solar system to the electrical grid by federal mandate. Some homeowner associations try limiting panel placement for aesthetic reasons, but they can't ban solar entirely. Many areas actually offer cash rebates and tax incentives for going solar. 74. Chewing gum in public spaces won't land you in legal trouble anywhere in the United States. Singapore famously restricts gum, but America takes the opposite approach completely. Private businesses can set their own gum policies, and schools often discourage classroom chewing for obvious reasons. The real issue comes from sidewalk disposal, not the actual chewing itself. Sticky situations arise from littering laws, not gum consumption. Pop that bubble without worrying about legal consequences in any American city. 75. Cranking up your car stereo isn't automatically illegal. though noise ordinances might apply in specific situations. Moving vehicles typically face fewer restrictions than parked cars blasting music for hours. Police issue tickets based on decibel measurements, not musical taste or genre preferences. Some towns set time limits for loud sounds rather than blanket volume bans. Singing along enthusiastically to your favorite songs never constitutes a criminal offense. Your musical freedom extends to reasonable volume levels in most places. 76. Writing honest negative reviews online falls squarely under free speech protection in American law. Businesses can't successfully sue customers simply for posting bad ratings or disappointing experiences. The key word here is honest. Deliberately false statements cross into libel territory quickly. Review platforms actively protect user speech rights and provide legal backing for genuine feedback. Many states have anti-slap laws specifically designed to prevent businesses from silencing critics through frivolous lawsuits. 77. Backyard beekeeping has gained legal recognition in most American communities as environmental awareness grows. Cities might require hive registration or basic safety measures, but outright bans are increasingly rare. Bees provide essential pollination services for local gardens and food production, making them valuable community assets. Neighbors can't demand bee removal without legitimate safety concerns or documented allergic reactions. Civil disputes about bee placement differ significantly from criminal violations, keeping most beekeeping hobbyists legally protected. 78. Asterisk, asterisk, hanging laundry. Outside to dry, asterisk, asterisk. Most states actually have right to dry laws that protect your ability to hang wet clothes on a backyard line. These laws exist because outdoor drying saves massive amounts of energy compared to electric dryers. Some homeowner associations still try to ban clotheslines, claiming they look unsightly or lower property values. But legally, you're in the clear. Cities can't write ordinances against sun-drying your shirts and socks. The worst you'll face is a grumpy neighbor who thinks your underwear ruins their view of the fence. 79. Asterisk, asterisk, wearing your hat in court or church. Asterisk, asterisk, federal law doesn't actually require you to remove your hat anywhere, including courtrooms or religious buildings. Judges might ask you to take it off out of respect, and pastors could give you dirty looks, but neither can arrest you for keeping it on. These rules come from old etiquette traditions, not criminal codes. Schools sometimes ban hats in their dress policies, but that's about classroom management, not legal requirements. The whole hats off indoors thing? Pure social custom. Your baseball cap won't land you in jail, just maybe some awkward stares from your grandmother. 80. Asterisk, asterisk, bringing snacks on a plane. Asterisk, asterisk, TSA regulations. Allow you to pack most homemade snacks in your carry-on bag without any legal issues. Sandwiches, cookies, trail mix, and crackers all pass through security checkpoints daily. The only restrictions come from liquid rules for things like yogurt or soup, plus international flights have stricter produce guidelines. Airlines themselves might have policies about outside food, but breaking those won't get you arrested. Flight attendants see passengers eating their own granola bars constantly. Honestly, airline food is so expensive that bringing your own turkey sandwich practically counts as financial self-defense. 81. Asterisk, asterisk, carrying a pocket knife. Asterisk, asterisk. Small folding knives are perfectly legal to carry in most American cities and states. Swiss Army knives, camping tools, and basic pocket blades don't violate any federal laws. The restrictions kick in at specific locations like airports, federal buildings, and schools, where even tiny knives get confiscated. Some states set blade length limits, usually around 3 or 4 inches for folding knives. Knife collecting is a huge hobby, and outdoor stores sell these tools openly. The key is tool versus weapon. If you're using it to open packages or cut rope, you're fine. 82. Asterisk, asterisk, feeding stray cats. Asterisk, asterisk. Very few American cities have laws that actually prohibit feeding stray cats on your own property or in public spaces. Animal welfare organizations often encourage controlled feeding as part of trap-neuter return programs. The complaints usually come when someone feeds dozens of cats daily, creating noise and waste problems for neighbors. But tossing some kibble to a hungry stray? Totally legal in most places. Some apartment complexes have rules about it, but those are lease violations, not criminal charges. The bigger issue is usually managing the population growth, not the feeding itself. Most cat lovers do it anyway. 83, asterisk, asterisk, skipping the Pledge of Allegiance, asterisk, asterisk Supreme Court rulings have repeatedly protected students' and workers' rights to opt out of reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Schools cannot force kids to stand, speak, or put their hands over their hearts during morning announcements. Teachers and government employees have similar protections under the First Amendment. You can sit silently, stand without speaking, or even walk out of the room entirely. Some schools still pressure students to participate, but legally they're in the wrong. The whole mandatory patriotism thing conflicts with free speech principles. Protest, respect, or indifference all are constitutionally protected choices in American classrooms. 84, asterisk, asterisk, having unusual hair, colors at work, asterisk, asterisk. Dyeing your hair bright pink, blue, green, or rainbow colors isn't against any state or federal law in America. Walk down any city street and you'll see people with every shade imaginable. The restrictions come from individual employers who set appearance policies for their workers. Some companies require natural hair colors, others don't care at all. Creative industries, restaurants, and retail stores often embrace colorful hair as part of their brand. Government jobs sometimes have stricter rules, but even those vary widely. Concert venues and art festivals are packed with people sporting wild hair colors. Your purple streaks won't get you arrested. 85. Pajamas at the grocery store? Totally legal. No state law exists that bans sleepwear in public spaces. Walmart has become famous for pajama-wearing shoppers, and guess what? Nobody gets arrested. The only real restrictions come from private businesses who can set their own dress codes. Schools might send kids home for wearing PJs, but that's a policy issue, not a criminal one. Even celebrities have worn designer pajamas to red carpet events. Your comfort clothing choices are entirely up to you, whether that's silk pajamas or fuzzy slippers. 86. Sharing that hilarious cat meme won't land you in jail. Copyright issues with memes rarely escalate to criminal charges because most creators actually want their content to spread. Fair use laws protect parody and humor, which covers basically every meme format. Sure, Disney might send a cease and desist letter if you're making money off Mickey Mouse memes, but casual sharing? Not a crime. Thousands of memes circulate daily across every platform. The weird part is that going viral often helps the original creator more than it hurts them. 87. That folding chair marking your parking spot after a snowstorm? Most cities won't ticket you for it. Chair saving has become a beloved tradition in snowy towns like Boston and Chicago, where digging out a spot feels like claiming territory. Police departments usually stay out of these disputes entirely. The real drama happens between neighbors who disagree about parking etiquette. Some cities ask residents not to reserve public spots, but they rarely enforce it. Well, unless the chair stays there for weeks, then it's just littering. 88. Laser pointers are perfectly legal to own and use. Teachers use them for presentations, kids play with them during sleepovers, and cat owners drive their pets crazy with the red dot. The problem starts when someone points a laser at an airplane or helicopter. That's a federal crime that can result in serious jail time and massive fines. Pilots can be temporarily blinded, which puts everyone on board at risk. But your average classroom laser pointer, completely fine. Just keep it away from aircraft and people's eyes. 89. Bringing your own reusable bags to any store is completely legal. No business can refuse to serve you just because you showed up with cloth bags or old plastic ones. Many stores actually offer small discounts for customers who bring their own bags. The bag bans you hear about target those flimsy plastic bags that break before you reach your car. Canvas bags, sturdy plastic containers, even that weird tote bag your aunt gave you for Christmas, all perfectly acceptable. Some cashiers might even compliment your bag choice. 90. Having a bad restaurant experience and telling the manager about it? That's protected speech, not criminal behavior. Public feedback helps businesses improve their service, even if it stings to hear. The line gets crossed when complaining turns into harassment, threats, or disturbing other customers. Yelling obscenities or refusing to leave when asked can become trespassing. But politely explaining why your meal was disappointing or why the service felt slow. Totally within your rights. The customer isn't always right, but they're always allowed to have opinions. 91. Learning karate, boxing, or any self-defense technique is completely legal everywhere in America. Martial arts schools operate in every city, teaching everything from kickboxing to Brazilian jiu-jitsu. The key difference is between learning to defend yourself and using those skills to attack others. Self-defense becomes illegal the moment you throw the first punch or escalate a situation unnecessarily. But taking classes, practicing moves, or even carrying legal self-defense tools like pepper spray, all perfectly fine. Your safety education is nobody else's business. 92. Cash payments from employers are completely legal in the United States. Your boss can hand you bills instead of checks, and there's nothing wrong with that arrangement. The real requirement? You still owe taxes on every dollar earned, whether it's cash, check, or direct deposit. Many restaurant workers, landscapers, and small business employees get paid this way regularly. The IRS doesn't care how you receive money, they just want their cut. What makes cash jobs illegal isn't the payment method, it's when people use fake names or stolen social security numbers to avoid taxes entirely. 93. Grown adults can absolutely celebrate Halloween without breaking any laws. Sure, some neighborhoods might give you weird looks when you're 35 and dressed as a vampire, but that's their problem, not yours. A few cities have tried setting age limits for trick-or-treating, though these rules are rarely enforced and mostly target teenagers, not adults. Costume parties, haunted houses, and horror movie marathons welcome people of all ages. The candy industry actually loves adult Halloween shoppers. They spend way more money than kids do. Besides, who's going to arrest someone for wearing a funny hat and eating too much chocolate? 94. Store employees can ask to see your ID, but you're not legally required to show it unless you're buying restricted items. Alcohol, tobacco, lottery tickets, and certain medications require proof of age. That's federal law. For everything else, it's just store policy, not criminal law. If you refuse to show ID for a regular purchase, they can deny the sale, but they can't detain you or call police for trespassing. Think about it logically. If stores could demand ID for buying groceries, we'd all be carrying passports to purchase bananas. The Fourth Amendment still protects against unreasonable searches, even in retail settings. 95. No law prevents you from asking for ketchup on your expensive steak. Chefs might cry inside when you make this request, but they can't legally stop you from ruining what they consider a perfect meal. You paid for the food, so you get to decide how to eat it. Well, the restaurant can refuse to serve ketchup if they really want to make a stand, but most places will grudgingly provide it. Food snobbery isn't enforceable by law. Whether you want ranch dressing on pizza or mayo on hot dogs, your taste preferences are protected by the simple fact that you're the customer paying the bill. 96. Wearing socks with sandals might violate fashion laws, but those aren't real laws. No police officer will ticket you for questionable footwear choices, even if everyone at the beach is judging you silently. Some private clubs or fancy restaurants might have dress codes that exclude this combination, but that's their business policy, not criminal law. The fashion police are just people with opinions, not actual law enforcement. Comfort matters more than style in most situations anyway. German tourists have been proving this point for decades, and they're still allowed to enter the country. Your feet, your rules, even if your rules make people cringe. 97. Cutting hair at home is perfectly legal, whether you're trimming your own bangs or giving your kid a buzz cut. Professional licensing requirements only apply when you're charging customers in a salon setting. Parents have been giving home haircuts forever, especially during tight budget months or global lockdowns. Sure, the results might look questionable sometimes, but bad hair isn't a crime. Even if you accidentally create a mullet that violates several laws of good taste, you won't face any actual legal consequences. The worst punishment? Having to wear a hat until it grows out. YouTube tutorials have made home haircutting more popular than ever. 98. Keeping your porch light on all night is completely legal in every state. There's no law limiting when you can illuminate your own property, and many police departments actually encourage it for crime prevention. Some homeowners associations might have rules about excessive lighting, but these are civil matters, not criminal ones. Your electric bill might suffer, but your freedom to waste electricity is protected. Smart bulbs with timers have made all-night lighting more convenient and energy efficient. Plus, delivery drivers and emergency responders appreciate being able to see house numbers clearly. Night shift workers coming home late also benefit from well-lit entryways, making this a practical safety choice. 99. Rolling dice and casting spells isn't going to land you in handcuffs. Despite decades of moral panic about Dungeons and Dragons supposedly corrupting youth, no state has ever banned tabletop role-playing games. The satanic panic of the 1980s created wild myths about RPGs being dangerous or illegal. Game stores across America host D&D nights every week without police raids. Schools even run after-school gaming clubs now. Those old rumors about government bans? Complete fiction. Your 20-sided die is perfectly legal. 100. When nature calls in a single-stall restroom, you're not breaking any laws by using it. Unisex bathrooms with one toilet are legal everywhere in America, and anyone can use them regardless of gender. The Americans with Disabilities Act actually requires accessible stalls to be available to anyone who needs them, not just people with visible disabilities. All those heated political debates about bathroom access, they don't apply to single-user facilities. Nobody's checking IDs at the soap dispenser. Use whatever restroom is available and get on with your day. 101. Flipping upside down in a public park won't get you arrested by the fun police. There's absolutely no law against doing cartwheels, handstands, or backflips in public spaces. Parks departments actually encourage physical activity and movement. Police officers only step in if someone's genuinely creating a safety hazard, not because they're having too much fun. Every gymnast who made it to the Olympics started somewhere, probably in a public park. Your spontaneous acrobatics are completely legal. Just watch out for sprinkler heads and small children.